In the year of 1970, current President Richard Nixon started a commission in the House to create new CIA branches. In these branches was one dedicated to the studying of the Clifos-Sephiroth and its relation to resonance, the natural ability the CIA's MK-Ultra projects were based around. During this time, Richard Nixon had an undercover battle with lung cancer. Fearing his life would end, he forcefully shifted the Clifos-Sephiroth studying group to now focus the Immortality Project. Nixon failed at his gambit of immortality, the cancerous cells in his lungs being transported out and creating the vessel of the seventh key, Arab Zarak, Ahmel Baal, the Raven, which talked to Noah in his plight of God. The CIA engaged Resonance Protocol HCl49. The subject, labeled 7RN, was detained via the use of a primitive version of the Mikoshi Engram soul killer bullet, trapping the resonance of it inside of a Sephiroth capacitor. Subject 7E was transported to the bottom of the ocean off the coast of Pribilof, Alaska. Nixon was unsuccessful in attaining immortality, but was able to contain his cancer while being exposed for the Watergate scandal. Studying of the resonance continued. A better Sephiroth capacitor was developed and was better implemented into the primitive version of the Mikoshi's Engram soul killer bullet. At the time, labeled Be'er Shakat, the Be'er Shakat was discontinued after problems emerged in an underground testing site in Iowa, creating a time rift from overexposure of resonance in too concentrated of an area, which is what caused the Iowa farmland incident of 1999, which will be revisited at a later time period. The Sephiroth Clifoth project went silent for a while. The CIA was busy funding this project with the influx of crack cocaine into low-income black neighborhoods as both ethnic cleansing and a money-making scheme to fund the Sephiroth Clifoth project. 7RN lay dormant off the coast of Pribilof. 24 years passed until the next time the Clifoth project acted. 1996. The Democratic National Convention begins utilizing the resonance studying in the Clifoth-Sephiroth project to create the Oak, Order of Kadmon project. This project oversaw the planting of multiple trees around the Mojave Desert, which began to interfere with the brainwaves of the populace and swing the vote from a Republican-predicted victory to a Democratic victory in the states. January 9th, Japanese scientist Mikoshi Ayanami creates the most recent version of the Be'er Shakat, and plans to capture the consciousness of TUPAC Shakur as to create a memetic agent within the resonance wavelength capable of altering public memory and perception of events. Project Federal Litigation of Public and Private Affairs, or FLOPPA, is created. The Mikoshi Engram soul killer bullet is created. A soul link between the user and the target must be created, and a close proximity must be established due to the projectile firing at subsonic speeds. Too high of speeds would disrupt the Sephiroth capacitor inside of the bullet and would damage or even destroy the consciousness of the target. February 9th, 1996, the Oak project is finished in all states of the Mojave Desert. Unsuspecting and unknowing CIA agent Edwin Stanton reports the suspicious metal tree planting to his superior and college friend from DeVry University, Enrico Carls. March 11th, 1996. Enrico Carls is on a family trip up in Alaska when he notes the death of 8 million jellyfish around the coastline of Alaska. He calls Edwin to meet up at Alaska, and the two meet up to discuss their findings. The Sephiroth Clifoth project picks up on the discussion via a resonance link crafted into the ballpoint of every pen the CIA hands out to agents, which tracks their movements and speech. The resonance-based supercomputer Kita processes this information and reports them to Neshaya Task Force for extermination. April 21st, 1996. The Neshaya Task Force neutralizes Enrico Carls and Edwin Stanton, expunging them from enrollment of DeVry University and from CIA records. Edwin Stanton is the first to die. 13 CIA resonance dummies are created via the technology used in the Mikoshi Engram soul killer bullet to pilot cars with large amounts of cyclonite, C3H6N606, into a four-way stop located in the town of Kotzebue, Alaska. The explosive yield of the 13 cars instantly evaporated his body, leaving him as nothing but unidentifiable mush on the sidewalk. A gruesome but swift end death. Enrico Carls, while fishing, is taken under by the recently awakened vessel 7RN. Enrico's ballpoint pen had a high concentration of resonance poured into it by the Kita supercomputer, specifically to reawaken the vessel to terminate him. Enrico is dragged under the water and killed, being washed up on the shore of Pribilof. An unidentified man was reported on the coast of Pribilof, Alaska, and his eyes were gouged out with 4mm incisions around the nose, genitals, and armpits. Major fracture to each femur, spinal integrity of the thoracic region compromised. Anybody who is able to identify this man, please report it to 1-800-323-3640. Kita had created a hotline to terminate others who knew of Enrico Carls. The vessel is able to identify the existence of anti-resonance, an agent found in the temporal lobe of some humans which create a resistance to the Oak Project's brainwashing via resonance waves. The World Health Organization labels this as schizophrenia and moves on. The testing rounds of the Mikoshi Engram Soul Killer bullet are over, and the test was ready. The FLOPPA agent was created in preparation of the death of TUPAC Shakur. TUPAC Shakur was shot by members of the CIA with the Mikoshi Engram Soul Killer bullet, trapping his consciousness and genetic information and personality in an engram stored within a bullet which they used to kill a mare carousel, harvesting its semen in order to artificially inseminate a female carousel and give birth to Big FLOPPA, who would become an internet sensation and PSYOP code word that wiped viewers' memories of the real events of 1996. Only TUPAC Shakur's DNA was capable of producing this mind-wiping effect. Biggie Smalls was also shot, but his DNA was not compatible with the engram, and we needed to find the Mikoshi and access the consciousness of the masses, finding the true events of the 1996 election and other hidden government conspiracies. Before it's too late, we need to kill Big FLOPPA, so the shadow organization that controls the US government's implants TUPAC's engram within the new cybernetic body that represents the perfect human form, at which point he will become invincible and the fourth impact will be imminent. The carousel was the perfect host of the FLOPPA protocol. He was labeled as a level Omega MEMETIC agent. The CIA had think they won, full control over the populace. However, with the creation of the FLOPPA agent came another vessel, created in me, the author of this. I am the vessel of the ninth key, Samael, or Achmehe, God's left hand. The anti-resonance search force labeled Sha'are Mavet has been trying to track me for the past 16 years, and they know the danger I hold to their secrets. There is a way to beat them, however. The whole CIA Sephiroth Clyfoth program relies on resonance, yet anti-resonance is easy to produce. The CIA has yet to figure out I have cracked their codes and their languages. Cover yourself in oil was not a meme. It was a symbol for the CIA agents to communicate if they know about the resonance protocol and if the Kita supercomputer had tracked any new instance of anti-resonance. Covering oneself in oil does not make you fly. It's a way to let you see into the engram portal labeled husks. To produce anti-resonance, the following steps must be taken. Step 1. Cover yourself in oil. This gives you access to the engram portal husks and allows you to begin communicating with the dead spirits as to see into where resonance pools are located around your area. The optimal type of oil I have found is either extra virgin olive oil branded by Crisco. Without getting too into the chemistry, the Crisco extra virgin olive oil has extra counts of benzene rings with boron bondings that extend beyond the third dimension and enter the fourth dimension. The amount of these 4D boron bonded benzene rings is very, very faint and low in concentration. A specific process must be undertaken to get a high enough concentration of these 4D boron bonded benzene rings to be able to access the engram portal husks. Get the Crisco extra virgin olive oil. Introduce it to an oxidizing agent, and pour 1 teaspoon of lye into the mixture. Let it sit for 1 hour and then cool onto a bed of ice, and stir while introducing a ferrous boron mixture into the bowl. Then let it rest for 1 more hour. After this has been done, you are ready to move on to step 2. Collect ample amounts of resonance from the engram portal husks. The best way to safely carry resonance pools like this are with gasoline canisters. However, it must be noted that the resonance cannot be exposed to any form of sunlight. Step 3. Enter a dark basement at 3 a.m. The time zone specifically does not matter, but the position of the moon does. The moon must be a waxing crescent, and this is called the yesod, the key which must be created to convert. Step 4. Paint an outline of the Sephiroth out of goat's blood and gasoline mixture. No reptilian blood or DNA should be present. Step 5. Get naked and burn your clothing. Yesod does not wish to see the first sin of humanity when being created, as clothing is a sin from the tree of knowledge created by Adam. Step 6. Prepare the resonance. Pour the resonance into 7 bowls around the symbol of Yesod. Step 7. Call upon his name. If everything is done correctly, you have summoned the key of Yesod, which will convert the resonance to anti-resonance. Step 8. Drink the anti-resonance slowly. You can even mix it into bread, cheese, or other foods if you wish. Overconsumption of anti-resonance too quickly will result in death. Anti-resonance is a dangerous game. Do not do this unless you wish to join the fight.